here. I'm joining on Facebook just to make sure everything's good. All right. So we're all good. All right. Welcome everybody. We're here today with Gail and Bruce Bergen, and excited to hear you guys talk about your daughter Lauren, and I know that the impact that both of you and Lauren have had on so many people that have come through Race and Recovery is incredible. And I want to give you guys the opportunity to share a little bit more about Lauren. So, everyone, feel free to start
Bruce. You can start.
Okay. Well, the background is, of course, that Lauren died of an overdose, and actually in our home. And at last night's meeting, it kind of hit home because several people mentioned, you know, I don't want to enable my child, have them living at home, because I don't want to have to open the door to their room and find them in that kind of a state, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to us. And we battled for a long time with her issues in that, but we had kind of come to the conclusion at one point in time and said, boy, this is just not going to work. She really just cannot stay here home with us. It's too disruptive, and she's just out of control and things like that. And we thought at the time, well, if we just say, no, you're not going to be able to stay with us, that it would be like a death sentence to her. Well, it kind of turned out to a degree that the opposite was true, maybe. So, I mean, you can roll the dice in any direction, and you don't really know what's going to happen. You know, I always kidded Lauren that at that time we had a dog called Pepper, and this dog was a lovable dog, but she was a knucklehead. I mean, she just did stupid things. And I always told Lauren, I go, Lauren, you're just like Pepper. You're so lovable, and we love you to death, but sometimes you're just a knucklehead. and this was one of those knucklehead things that she did, and you know, it wasn't really an intelligence thing. I mean, because she was actually pretty smart. But it's something was driving her behavior. You know, you get into that. You know, I like the expression that Todd uses in his book, the express elevator to hell.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of where she was headed, and she was pretty far down that ride. I attribute a lot of it to the people she associated with. She didn't hang out with the best crowd in my estimation, and that had gone back several years. But it's you know, we understand it now a lot better. I think that's one of the great things that I've gotten out of Racing for Recovery is the knowledge. I think knowledge is a great thing in a lot of different areas. Okay, the knowledge of the understanding that, okay, what we saw with Lauren was really pretty consistent with what I hear from a lot of other people. So being able to understand it, it doesn't lessen the hurt any, but there's always that. I mean, if somebody dies in a plane crash or something, you always want to understand, well, what really happened, you know, and until you understand what happened, there's that additional angst from that. So that understanding helps a lot. You know, the stories I hear about people, Mike last night made a great comment, you know, and I go, yeah, I can relate to exactly what he's talking about there. Somebody else at one point, I think it might have been Brendan one night, made a comment about, yeah, I was playing the game, and it wasn't really direct enabling, but he said I would play the game about getting gas, you know, from my parents or whoever, and I used that gas to do favors for friends and stuff. You know, we thought Laura was a great person. There was this one guy, she used to run back and forth to work all the time because his car was broken or something. We thought, oh, what a sweetheart. Helping people out. What she was really doing was getting gas from us, so she was probably charging this guy to make money, and then after she dropped him off, I'm sure she was going to do her bad thing.
Yep.
So, you know, but understanding those things, I wish I would have known it at the time.
Right.
So that lack of knowledge when we were going through this was tough. I know it's been said there's like 3 types of people in the world. There's people that make things happen, there's people that watch things happen, and there's people that say, what the hell just happened? Right. And we were definitely in that last category. I mean, we were totally oblivious to this situation and didn't know how to deal with it. When she first came to us, she did come to us at one point, like over a year before she died, and said, you know, I need help, you know, with an addiction I've got. And first she said it was on some kind of pain medication and stuff. Then the truth came out. She changed her story, so she was like warming up to what she really wanted to say, I think. And she said, no, I've got a problem with heroin. And I had actually heard this through one of her friend's parent. Actually let me know that I think your daughter's into heroin.
Really?
A few months before.
How did you feel when that friend's parent said that to you?
Well, I was shocked because, you know, yeah, I knew she did some bad things, but I didn't know it was into heroin. So that was quite a shock. And, you know, I called her out on it and she denied it,
Right.
you know. So.
And I'm sure naturally, it's your daughter, you believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to believe them.
Absolutely.
You know, and some of Lauren's history, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Bruce, you know, she had back issues. They were birth defects. So she had been dealing with that since she was very young. She was on, you know, they put her on pain medication. She'd go in and say it was still hurting. So this started out when she was, you know, probably 8, 9, 10 years old.
Wow.
That she was on pain medication. Well, then, you know, you go to, then they send you to a specialist. So you're dealing with your family doctor with pain medication, and the specialist gives you pain medication. Then she also had some mental issues that she was trying to conquer.
Mostly anxiety and things.
It was anxiety, a little bit of depression, and things like that. She'd gone through, you know, cutting herself. And I'm going to be open and honest here because parents are dealing with this.
Absolutely.
You know, she came to us when she was cutting herself, and that was about 12 years old. You know, got her some help with, you know, put her in a hospital to get intense therapy. But everything was kind of disjointed. There was nobody looking at the whole person. You know, we were fighting all the symptoms, and we were trusting in the experts and the physicians on what to do because we did not have any knowledge in this. We didn't even know where to turn. And I think the big disruptive fall down for her was when she transitioned from being a pediatric patient to an adult. You know, you hit 18, all that pediatric stuff stops, so her psychiatrist was no longer seeing her psychologist, her pediatrician wasn't seeing her, so we had to find all new doctors, and there's always such a time lag between when you make a call and we needed help right now. And they said, well, you gotta wait 6 weeks. Well, by the time 6 weeks, it just, there's gotta be some continuity between transition periods. And even as Lauren got through with her jail time and going through the CAD program in Toledo, she just came home. There was no transition, no follow through with what she should have done. You know, really, she should have gone to a recovery house or some, you know, some program where she was had a much more structured world, and somebody helping her. You know, they told her to go to 90 meetings in 90 days for AA, and she started going to Narcotics Anonymous, but she said all the drug dealers hung out there.
Which we don't think was really true.
So, you know, but, you know, it's like you try to believe, it's like, well, maybe, you know, okay, you got a bunch of addicts that are coming out of this meeting, and, you know, we were kind of stereotypical and what does an addict look like,
Right.
And I've been very open at work about it. You know, if it can happen to my daughter, it can happen to almost anybody. I mean, it's out there, it's in the schools, it's in public places. You read stories on social media that, you know, somebody was found overdosed in a bathroom at a Walmart store or something like that. So there's nothing special about us. You know, we tried to give our kids the right things, do the right things, you know, bring them up right, and it still happened. It still happened. And, you know, we have a son also, you know, she went this way, he didn't. You know, what's different, and I think it's just personality, that, you know, the chemical imbalances with the mental issues that she had. I don't know what the answer is, but as we, you know, when she came to us and said she needed help, we had no idea where to even turn. We started looking through the Yellow Pages, trying to call places to see where we could get her right away.
Oh, Google. We started Googling.
So,
I found
yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Started
You know,
calling people, you know.
And, you know, she started, you know, it's like, okay, she's on painkillers and Xanax, you know, and then she says, well, Mom, I think you really need to know I'm on heroin. that seems to make a big deal when you're talking to these places. So she, you know, she wanted to get better.
Yep.
But these drugs just do horrible things to their brain. They just don't think clearly. And if she would have put as much effort into getting clean as she did staying high,
Yep.
it would have, you know, would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. So.
Well, a couple things that, you know, I heard prior to us going live here. Gail read a incredible paper that she had written up, kind of chronicling the last day of Lauren, and very touching and powerful, and we'll share that at a later point. And hearing that, I was just sitting here and my heart was breaking for both of you, and knowing what you've gone through and seeing you here each week. You really are, and through her, such a beacon of hope for other people. And it's amazing to think about how many people you guys are touching through Lauren's story. And I don't want you guys to ever forget that. And you've helped in so many ways in the time you've been coming here. And it's, we direct people to you. When we're on the phone here, we know this is somebody, either a child or a parent, that needs to talk to the Bergens when they get here, or the Piercy's, or Randy Badares, or whoever it may be, that all of these awesome people that have been impacted by addiction and have a story to tell and share and can help someone else with that. And I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of Racing to Recovery.
You know, the one thing we did not want Lauren's life to be in vain. This was horrible. Nobody wants to be an addict.
Yep.
You know, they want the pain to end. And, you know, as we always talk about here, and Todd Crandall always talks, it's identifying what that pain is. If you don't identify it, you can't fix it. So, as you know, as I said, we don't want Lauren to have died in vain. I want people to realize it happens to everybody. There's not the look of an addict that you can go out, you can tell who they are. They're all walks of life, all ages. You know, we were dealing through the time as, you know, the grief, the sorrow, the anger, and not knowing what to do, and all of that. And, you know, I wish we would have found Racing for Recovery earlier. I think it would have really made a difference in how I did it. Because, I mean, I know I enabled Lauren.
Yep.
You know, she would come into my bedroom at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep, and, Mom, somebody's after me, I need $100. And you know, Bruce was a lot tougher, but,
Yep.
you know, sometimes it was like, I don't have any money, and we'd go to Bruce, and, you know, he would take her or follow her to where she was going, and, you know, we're thinking she's paying off somebody because that's what she said, that, you know, when they keep lists and audit trails of who owes them money, and, you know, she's had guns pulled on her, and she, you know,
Wow.
and, you know, she would lend her car out to drug dealers.
Quite a story on that.
And, you know, they went on a high speed, and you can tell that story,
Wow.
Bruce. But it's just all, as Todd says, we all have the horror stories, and it's
Yep.
not about the horror
Yep.
stories. You know, what Lauren,
Well, in some cases, you can learn from the horror story.
well, absolutely.
And not the drug usage part, but
Right.
the finagling and all that. I mean,
Yep.
I have learned from
Manipulation.
that, and I hear other people explain, like how people use the gas money for the car and all that
Yep.
kind of stuff, you know. You give them food, they'll sell the food, you know. All the games that they play, you
Yep.
know.
I was totally oblivious to that, but, you know, in essence, Lauren was sweet. She was caring. She loved people. She would give anything she had to people. As she was coming out of CAD, when they're in CAD, they get to kind of wear their own clothes. They have to be certain colors and things. Well, a lot of people, you know, kids go into these programs and parents just, that's it, I'm done.
Right.
And when Lauren came out, she left most of those clothes there so other girls would have something to wear.
Awesome.
And, you know, I'm sitting there doing her laundry when she gets home, and it's like, where are all your clothes? And she goes, Mom, these kids don't have anything. And that's just the type of person she was. She would, you know,
Caring.
yeah, she would give up herself in order to take somebody else. And, you know, as she was, you know, her and I would talk extensively about, you know, who she was hanging with and the individuals. And she goes, Mom, these aren't bad people. And, you know, she saw the good in it. It's like,
Right.
but they're doing this bad thing and you're partaking in it.
Right.
And it's just hard, but I don't want to forget, you know, the last 2 years, she was on drugs and that did a lot of the talking and who
Yep.
she turned into. But before that, she was just sweet, and you know, she loved her nieces and just everything. And that's the Lauren, in essence, of who she was. So.
And you guys know, we talk about that a lot here too. That doesn't define who we are as a person.
Right.
We've all made some bad choices.
Absolutely.
But that is not who we are. And we can focus on the negative, but again, we talk about the positive. I love seeing you talk about her, you know, giving her clothes to somebody else after she came through completion of that program. And that's remembering the kindness, the caring, the thinking of others. And most people that are going through this, that's what they're like. They would do more for somebody else than for themselves. And it's trying to find a way to show them that they're of value and they are worth saving. It's right from that poem that we read in all our meetings. And it's difficult because so many people struggle with that self-esteem issue.
That's exactly what Lauren.
It's hard, and everybody does. And there's people in here that have been coming for many years, and you know, I even struggle taking a compliment from somebody because it's like, that's not me, or you know,
I'm
it's
not
like,
worth it.
right.
You know, and even as we talk, all you got to do is ask for help.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of the message you want to get out there. And you know, I realize that's the hardest thing to do is ask for help. You don't want to be appear weak. But moreover than that, you know, as I've gone through, you know, my life, you know, I've gone through a lot of life here, and I've had a lot of ups and downs and sad times and that. The hardest thing is to ask somebody for help, because what if they say no, they aren't going to help you? Then you're crushed, and you've taken all your energy to work up to asking somebody to lend you a hand and to help you to get through this moment, and what if they say no?
Yep.
And that's hard. That's why when I come here, you know, you reach out and you talk to people. You know, the meeting's over. This place doesn't clear out.
Right.
It doesn't clear out, and the people in this group are not running up to the front table to talk to Todd or the people running the meeting that day. And they're connecting with each other and supporting each other and asking how it's going. And you know, Grandma's grandson is getting out soon, and you know, she's excited and scared and all those emotions you have. And you know, that's what I'm trying to get across is all these emotions will hit you all the time, and when they don't even make sense. But this group, you know, we have over 100 people in here on Thursday nights, and I have never had that many people in one place that are as supportive and non-judgmental as this group is. There is not one person in here that's trying to sabotage your success. And that, I think, is remarkable. Everybody is pulling for everybody else to succeed, and you know, for the parents that have lost, you know, we live on through those that have succeeded here. You know, I just love hearing stories that they got, you know, I call them kids, you know, because they're all my kids now. And, you know, I just love their stories and the laughter and the jokes, and, you know, when they get, you know, can get a needle in on Todd up there and stuff. And it's just, you know, I treasure coming here on Thursday nights because I always feel so much at peace when I leave, so much good come out, you know, no matter what I had coming into this. Like last night I had just a really bad day, and you know, my voice cracked, and nobody, you know, judges you for that. They're very supportive. They put their arm around me, and like I said, I just wish we would have found this. I think it would have helped Lauren be able to connect with individuals that were on her same path and had come clean, and you know, would have helped us know, okay, these are just a pack of lies that she's telling us. And but you know, I'm not going to beat ourselves up. During this time, the first time we knew Lauren overdosed was on my birthday in 2015. We got a call from our daughter-in-law, and she had overdosed, and I called 911 from work and met her over there. Lauren, they gave her half a dozen things of Narcan, and she never really woke up from it, but they placed her in the hospital. She checked herself out the next morning. You know, she was at home sitting on the step with her hospital gown on.
Wow.
And she immediately came home, and I'm sure she used.
Right.
You know, 2 days later, I found out I had cancer. So then I was going through all of that, and Lauren, you know, that time wasn't living at home. So there was a lot going on. I had to have a mastectomy. My mom died the day before my mastectomy. I planned her funeral from my hospital bed. So all this was going on, and we were in the middle of chemo when Lauren came and told us that she had this heroin addiction. And, you know, I was not at 100% for obvious reasons. I don't know how Bruce handled all of that. He went with me to every appointment. He sat with me through every chemo, you know, the hours and hours I'm in at chemo. He was, you know, trying to take care of Lauren and driving her to Glen Bay, which is on the east side of Cleveland, and just all, you know, all these things. He just was very stoic, and I could not have gotten through any of this without him. We don't attack each other. We're there to support each other because we're both going through this. And you hear all these stories how marriages break up when there's a crisis and all of that. And he's my rock, you know, and we both, you know, obviously we both had different experiences with Lauren and her addiction. You know, Bruce is probably much stronger than I was. But that's okay, good cop, bad cop.
I don't know. You kicked cancer's ass, so.
But,
Pretty strong
you know,
woman.
it's, you know, you just try to deal with it, and, you know, we laugh about some of the stupid stuff she did. You know, and you try to treasure those moments. You know, her and my son, you know, our son were kind of at odds a few years before she passed away because of the addiction.
Yeah.
They hadn't talked. They would do a few things at our house for us, but, you know, it was hard.
Andy tried to help her, and she just wouldn't have anything of it, you know.
Right.
He was older than Lauren?
Yeah, 4 years older, and, you know, he knew what was going, he assumed what was going on. He
Right.
tried to help her, and she kicked him in his teeth, basically.
Yeah.
Threatened him and stuff like that. He said, I'm done.
Yeah.
So after she got out of CAD, we had promised our granddaughter, who's asleep over here actually, that when she learned how to ride a two-wheel bike, we'd take her to Mackinac Island.
Awesome.
And it was going to be for Andy's family, because this was a celebration for Paige.
Mhm.
And Andy said, you know, Lauren could come, we have to start mending fences and moving forward.
Awesome.
So we had, you know, 4 days up there with the family. It was hard. It was good. And Lauren said it was the best time that she ever had in her life.
Wow.
And
That's a great place.
then within a couple of weeks, she was gone. So, you know, we have that to hang on to, that she gets to spend, you know, that was her favorite place to be. She got to spend time up there. You know, we were there as a family, all of us together, and, you know, we can hold on to that,
Yep.
that we gave her that, and, try to get past the bad and the ugly and the.
But she also took some strange paraphernalia with her.
Yeah,
up
she
there.
did.
We're not so sure that, you know, there wasn't.
I'm sure she was using drugs up there.
Yeah.
I'm sure as soon as she got out of jail, you know, the first thing she did was go and, well, actually, the first thing she did was put her car in a ditch.
Which we never understood that, but.
Yeah, that was within the first hour after she got home.
Wow.
She went for a ride because she likes driving to settle herself and that.
Yep.
And, you know, within 10 minutes, Mom, I'm in the ditch. Can you come help? So she was using, you know, pretty much right away. You know, we didn't want to believe it.
Yep.
You try to believe the good and the
Right.
honest and that. It's just, you know, but as you find out, more and more come out, and it's just hard.
Yep.
So,
I mentioned something earlier, I wrote something down here to remember of it. I think you mentioned treating symptoms, people, and I think that our society as a whole, you know, we hear a problem and we want to give a pill, this is what you need to do, here's your quick answer, here's your quick fix, and that's done in so many different things, but that's not what it's all about.
Right.
And I love that approach with, you know, with the chiropractic care from here, creating a balanced, holistic lifestyle. It's not just stopping using drugs or alcohol. That's the start, but there's a whole lot of reasons and things that are going on why people are doing that, and to understand that and to be searching for that, to find that, that's what has to be done to treat all the different things that you mentioned that she's been through in her life. From why was she cutting at that young age, and then the transition to doctors and things like that. That it's difficult to get to that, but one thing that has to remain constant throughout that is can't use. And until we find how to get that whole person treated properly, it's going to be a rough road. And it's unfortunate that we do lose people to this, and it's awesome that you guys are open about this. And you mentioned you talk, and share her story at work with you, and that's huge. I mean, that is, you're giving a face to what this truly is, and that's exactly what this live stream and the success stories and the talks are about on Fridays. It's not whatever perception we've made up or the media has put on an addict or an alcoholic. And it's anybody and everybody that's our neighbor that we meet at the store that is looks great on TV or whatever. It affects everybody. And I can't thank you guys enough for your openness about that. I mean, we've actually had people that have called in here or came in here and said, I saw an obituary and it talked about this woman, dying because she lost her battle or addiction with alcohol and happened to be the same age as the young lady. And it's like, if you keep that stuff hidden, you're missing an opportunity to help somebody else. But by you guys coming out and sharing the story of Lauren, you probably have no clue how many people are being helped by her life. And it's imperative that people continue to talk about it and talk in our meetings and talk when you have the opportunity to with people that you meet, because you never know who that's going to impact.
It touches so many people, and I was open and honest with my cancer as well. I went to work while I was doing chemo, and they saw the good, the bad, the ugly. But cancer also touches all walks of life. It doesn't discriminate, and if people see us that we're dealing with cancer, I'm not looking like I'm at desk door all the time. I can still sit here and have fun, and I made cracks about my cancer. I get the liberty of doing that because I had to go through it. Like I said, we make cracks about the stupid crap Lauren did. It doesn't mean we are misrepresenting who she was or the horror of it all. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. It's when we picked Lauren up off that bed to start CPR, her body was cold, or it was chilly, and I accidentally knocked her head on the floor as I put her down because there just wasn't enough room in the bedroom to, and I felt horrible. It's like, what did I do to her? Well, obviously I didn't do anything. She did it. That didn't make any difference in what, but I still wanted to take care of my baby girl. That's a mom's job, and we heard that last night at the meeting. Your job is to put your arms around and protect them from the horrible stuff. And Lauren was, when she overdosed the one time, she told me she had died, and they brought her back at the hospital. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. She was very worried because she didn't see the light, and did that mean she wasn't going to go to heaven? And that really upset her, that if she would die, what was going to happen to her? And it's like, this isn't who you are. This is what you're doing. And I'm trying to erase the stigma that, keep it behind closed doors. Every neighborhood you go into probably has somebody using drugs, selling drugs, doing the alcohol thing. It's everywhere, and that's why I'm trying to be open, because cancer hit us, drugs hit us, we're still together, we're still smiling. We have the tears. That's not going to stop. She was our kid. I mean, there was so much about her. She was, there's so many things I see in Bruce that was Lauren. She loved skiing with him. She was kind of the daredevil. The roller coasters, where Andy is a little more laid back with me. Like, roller coasters are fine for me. Andy doesn't like them at all. So, that's the part I miss, that, she was adventuresome. Her and
Right.
Bruce would go all over to concerts and things like that, and that was their thing. And you know, White Stripes was their thing,
Mhm.
and Green Day, and
Nice.
you know, she would go skiing with him, and you know, I like sitting by the fire inside.
Mhm.
But she would go, you know, zooming straight down the hill, you know, the
Yep.
fast, and you know, it was, you know, that's what I miss, that she, you know, she isn't sharing that with Bruce.
Right.
You know, so now I think our youngest granddaughter will probably be the daredevil one for Bruce to take her down that path.
Awesome.
And the older one is a little more like me where, you know, find me a hotel room.
Bruce, what's one of your fondest memories of Lauren?
Well, probably the two things that Gail just mentioned, going skiing and going
Mhm.
to concerts.
Yeah.
I mean, she really liked going to those concerts, and I know that the farthest away we went to, actually the whole family went, not to the concert, we went to London, Ontario to see the White Stripes.
Wow.
And me and her were the only ones that actually went to the concert.
Cool.
Gail and Andrew did other stuff during
Yep.
Yep.
that time. It was a kind of a cool adventure. And we got all these little funny things that happened. I mean, one time, just for the heck of it, Sam's Club was out of, I like the pure maple syrup, you know.
Mhm.
I don't like that manufactured stuff. And they were out for some reason. I go, we're gonna have to go to Canada. Canada's got good maple syrup. We're gonna. So we went up to Windsor, you know, to buy
Really?
maple syrup. Yeah,
That's
she always
awesome.
joked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to Canada and buy some maple syrup, you know.
That's funny.
Just an excuse for a
Yep.
trip. But,
Yeah.
Let's spend some time together and
Yeah.
enjoy each other.
and she used to I go to Oshkosh, Wisconsin for they have a big aviation convention up there every year.
Uh-huh.
So I go up there almost every year, and she went up until she was like driving age where she didn't want to go anymore. I mean, she went up there most years with me
Awesome.
too, so we had good memories up there.
Awesome.
And then Bruce and I, when she was about 15, we drove to California. Well, Lauren's idea of California was, we're gonna get there, we're gonna sit on a beach for 2 weeks, and then we're gonna come home. She didn't get that it would take a long time to drive there, and she was not happy because she had to share the back seat with our cooler.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, we got to, you know, Las Vegas, and love him to death. He's an IT guy.
Uh-huh.
He had the trip mapped out, and he had planned to be in Las Vegas
Yeah.
from 10 a.m. to noon.
Wow.
And it's like, Lauren and I went and did a little shopping. It's like, okay, we're gonna boycott this. And we told him we were not. I mean, you can't go to Las Vegas and not see the strip at night. So we told him that was it. You know, he was going to stay overnight no matter what, and you know, I would pay for the hotel. He didn't have to do that. And he went and watched airplanes, and Lauren and I did all kinds of fun things. Then we get in the car and we drive to, you know, Los Angeles, and she gets to see the ocean and put her toes in. It's like, okay, now we got to start heading back. And she goes, what do you mean we got to head back? It's like, we only got another week left of vacation. It's going to take us that long.
Get back home, yep.
And we went up into Idaho, and that's a funny story that you can tell, Bruce, with her in Idaho and potatoes. The potato rolling.
Oh, one time we saw a kid, for whatever reason, he was with his mom, he was rolling a potato in he was out at, what's the name of that place, where the sports center out there, Wildwood,
Yeah.
where we go,
Mhm.
the doctors are, the place on
Oh,
Central,
yeah.
by
Yep.
Reynolds there.
Something like
And there's
that.
this kid in there, he's got a potato, he's rolling it on the floor. I go, what the heck's up with that? And when she saw that, she just cracked up. But they actually have a potato museum in Idaho Falls, Idaho, where we stayed at one night. So we went over and visited the museum. They were closed at the time, but she
Really?
wanted to have her picture taken, and she held up a sign that said potato rolling, you know, so.
Nice.
She actually, I think she had a better time on that trip than what she
Right.
portrayed.
On the way home, you know, she had enough time in the car, so she was calling friends, asking people for money so she could fly home. And they were trying to get her $1 here, $1 there, so she
That's
could
funny.
take a flight home.
That's funny.
But yeah, it was just, you know, it was just funny, and, you know, we went to overseas, to England and Paris with both
Wow.
kids.
Awesome.
Went to Paris. Andy was taking French in school, so he was, you know, I have to tell a story about Andy,
Mhm.
okay? I don't want to show favoritism or anything.
Oh,
So actually there's two stories. Andy is a little funny about food. He likes what he likes, but don't venture out of there.
Right.
So the only thing he wanted to eat when we were overseas, you know, is plain cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Really?
So we would have to go to Old McDonald's and get him plain cheeseburgers, and he was sure he could order this in French. So, that was kind of amusing. And then we went to the Eiffel Tower.
Awesome.
And, went up to the top, and, on the way down, Andy didn't want to be seen with parents, so he went on a different elevator down on the thing, and,
How old was he?
16, I think.
Oh, I was trying to.
So, he was at that age where, it's not
Ladies,
cool
right?
to be parents, but it's okay to be in Paris with them.
Yep.
And he's walking around, and now Andrew is like 6'4".
Wow.
So it's really kind of hard, Andrew, for you to blend in with the crowd when you're a foot over at everybody else.
So he's lost at the Eiffel Tower, right?
Yeah.
We had no idea where he was.
But it was kind of amusing, and Lauren rode down with us, and she goes, yeah, there was a girl talking to him, and it's like, okay. So it's just amusing stories that we have to share, and the memories, and just the flight there and back. They kept they play movies and stuff, and at the time it was The Pacifier that was coming on with whatever his name is, and they played it 3 times on the way over there. And I never saw the end of it, because I always fall asleep. And we'd see it on TV, and I said, what's going on with this duck? And she goes, Mom, you're just going to have to stay awake. So that's the kind of stuff that, she would just like teasing us back and forth, and, and with the relatives, is like, she connected with some, and Andy and Lauren, my younger brother is lives in Chicago now, and he was Lauren's godfather. My older brother was Andy's godfather, and the 2 kids would argue, who got the best godfather, and things like that. So it's just funny. They always had the sibling rivalry, and it was just, it's just amusing undertone with everything, and our family just laughs, and that's the basis of everything, and I think that's what hit us so hard, is because it just shook us to the core, and how do you handle that? So,
Couple comments from some people on Facebook here. I miss Lauren every single day. Gail and Bruce, you guys are amazing. It's just nothing but positive stuff, and it's again, I thank you guys so much for your impact and what you're doing to help others that come through the doors in Racing for Recovery, and helping our program in it as well, and getting us involved in different things, and I appreciate that. You guys have been advocates for Racing for Recovery and trying to reach more people, and that's making a difference every day.
Well, everybody contributes. I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, there's knowledge sharing everywhere.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the great things about it. The other great thing is that warms my soul is to see the commitment from people.
Yep.
I mean, commitment is a big thing, no
Absolutely.
matter what you're doing.
Yep.
And to see that is really great.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't talk the talk, they walk the walk.
Yep.
And I think that's, they read the books, and they come in, they talk about what they read or what they experienced, and what they felt this week, and what made a difference. And I look forward to coming here on Thursday nights. It's like, if I can make it to Thursday, I'm good for the rest of the weekend.
Yep.
Because you just connect.
Yep.
And there's so many things in this day and age that people just don't connect with other people anymore.
Yep.
And like I said, these meetings are not somber meetings. We have touches of that,
Yep.
but we're also cracking jokes, and we're laughing, and it's just good stuff.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, walking through these doors, you save lives. You also save souls here. And that's a big thing.
Yep.
I was. There's probably part of me that's still in shock. There's just, within 18 months, there was just so much that happened. And, it's like, I've had people tell me, you haven't dealt with any of that yet,
Mm-hmm.
Professionals and things like that. It's like, I don't know if I want to. This has been hard enough. I have to actually deal with something. But, there are times where I just, I can't believe what's happened. Wednesday night I was up all night, and all I did was think about Lauren. And nothing triggered it. It just did.
Huge part of your life, your
Yeah,
everything.
it was. We took care of her for a long time, and
Well, I still have the thought occasionally, what the hell happened? I think of that all the time, and my reaction to it is different at different times. Sometimes it's just, like, damn. And other times it's like, son of a bitch. I can't believe this happened. It just comes back and hits you again.
Knowing you a little bit, I'm sure there's been a lot of analyzing different things in life, then it's not one thing or another, that
Yeah.
it's just,
Well, you know,
it happens with what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And like I said, you guys, and I'm sure there's times where you're struggling a lot, but your strength that we see from you every week it's amazing. And you're, like I said, a beacon for hope for so many people. You mentioned Thursday nights, and if anybody happens to be watching for the first time, the meetings, yes, we broadcast them live on Thursday nights, but there are meetings every day of the week, so call us or stop in if you're struggling and need help. Pick up the phone, pop in. We had somebody that just walked in the door today.
yeah.
No appointment, nothing, just walked in and started helping. And that's what it's about. It's taking that first step and getting in the door to be part of this awesome community of people that are there to support everyone through anything. And it's reaching out and asking. And a lot of times, it's not the struggling person that's going to reach out, but it's somebody within our group that's here already that says, hey, hi, I'm Todd, welcome to Race. That happened to me my very first meeting. I'll never forget that. The only person I knew in that room was Todd Crandall, and I'm standing up there waiting to talk to him at the end of the meeting. Some dude walks up and says, hi, I'm Dennis, and I'll never forget it. So Dennis is an awesome guy. He gave me his phone number on the first meeting I was ever at, and I'm like, this is crazy. But that was exemplifying what Racing for Recovery is at its core, is people just genuinely stepping out to help others in whatever way that they can. And it's incredible to be a part of that. And like I said, you guys are helping people every day here too.
I think Racing for Recovery and the folks that are here in the office and you and Todd realize that your crisis doesn't happen at an appointment time.
Exactly.
It happens when it happens, and when you get the nerve up to come ask for help, you want somebody to be here that can offer that hand and help you. And that's what happened when, Bruce and I finally got over the shock of the dying and making the arrangements and things like that. We walked through these doors, and I think it was on a Thursday night, and the place was packed, and it's like, I don't even know who to see. And Dad came out and shook our hands, and it's like, we just need to talk to somebody about, because we were looking, what can we do with people that want to gift something for Lauren and Lauren's memory. And we wanted to see what Racing for Recovery was about, so we could point them in that direction. And you guys are just, you're here all the time, and you walk by and there's always somebody here, cleaning the kitchen or exercising or just kind of hanging out and having fun. So
It's awesome. We had a comment here from somebody I thought was pretty cool. I want to read it to you guys. Lauren was so funny. Her laugh was contagious. She had the most amazing smile. She was always there for me no matter what. I needed someone to talk to. It didn't matter what it was. She was so quick to say, are you okay? I'm on my way. And she would be right over. Picking me up from school, taking me home from school every single day. She was such an amazing friend. I feel very blessed to been able to spend as much time with her as I did when we were teenagers. That's pretty awesome.
that's who she was. She was.
Yeah. There for others and helping whatever way she could.
And she was worried about me that as I watched her go through all this, that I would succumb to depression or start taking drugs to numb myself, and I have to deal with her. And it's like, I'll take care of you. You don't have to worry about me. You just take care of yourself. And I tried to get her, you just have to get through these 10 minutes and it'll be better. And the thing that haunts me, she came home at 4 o'clock. I was sitting in the lazy boy while she was upstairs dying. And, I was making dinner, and had only you can't watch them 24 hours a day.
Right. Visitors.
There's the other grandchild.
Oh my.
Come here, Aria. Come here, come see Papa. You want to be on TV? Like I said, this place is amazing. It's helped me so much in everything I've done.
I've said this before too, that if Lauren would have had the opportunity to come to even one of the Thursday night free meetings, these are free meetings, which is unbelievable. I really believe there's a good chance that the outcome would have been different. So somehow we need to work on the Thursday meetings being mandatory,
Yes.
one time for everybody.
I agree.
You know, everybody should have that opportunity.
How are you doing?
And this is our youngest granddaughter, and this is the reason I do it. So she has a good life, and, you know, she doesn't have to fight these battles, and, you know, anything that she gets is just aces, and, yep, she's my pumpkin. So.
I love your shirt. You should put your arms up to that camera over there. Show your shirt.
Show your shirt.
That's cool. It says, this girl can do anything.
Yay!
You got a high five?
High five? There.
Thanks for coming in today, too. I don't know who you are, why you're talking.
Or what that beard is.
Secret grandma.
His name is Todd. So, but like I said, you know, her and Paige are our future, and, you know, we're trying to make it better for them.
Yep, that's awesome.
You know, one person at a time. And I'll
Awesome.
take one person, if I help one person through talking about Lauren and sharing this story and being at these meetings, then she didn't die in vain.
You definitely have helped a lot.
So,
So thank you guys again. I guess in closing, if there's anything you can say to anybody that's out there that's struggling, that's contemplating reaching out, what would you
just
say to them?
do it. I mean, it's hard, it's scary. You're, you know, just come through those doors. You don't even have to come through the doors on Thursday nights. Everybody's out in the parking lot. You know, you're taken care of.
Yep.
And again, I guess it isn't like somebody that's really looking for, like in our situation, looking for advice. Okay, I know, like us, we know nothing about this. What do we do?
Yep.
You've got to keep investigating and keep asking. It's not a 5-minute conversation. I wish there was a book that would have all the information in it that you need. You know, we've learned a lot, but
Yep.
it's taken months, you know,
Right.
to get the whole story. It'd be nice if there was something on the education side you could give to people that are in the support position, especially when it's tough when you're dealing with an adult. Because
Yep.
Lauren was an adult, so we were limited in what access we had. I mean, there's people that went over kind of broke some rules to
Right.
tell me some things that were
Right.
going on that they really didn't have to, which helped a lot. But, you know, keep asking the question. I mean, there's a line of reasoning called ask why 5 times,
Yep.
you know, and just keep asking until you find out what you really want to know.
Yep.
You know, I also think, you know, even if she's sleeping over there, with Racing for Recovery, you know, we were dealing with the addiction, but we weren't the person addicted.
Right.
And this place brings all of us together, and that is amazing. We can talk to other parents and realize that they're going through the same thing that we went through. And we can see the success stories from, you know, those, and they made it. Lauren didn't, but they are, and that brings just such peace to us. And so, you know, just the support of family members here and people that care about individuals and stuff. I think
Absolutely.
that helps. I can't even tell you how much that helps. Can't even begin to tell you that. It's just a big extended family here.
Well, again, we're so sorry for obviously the loss of Lauren, but we are blessed to have learned more about her life and the awesome person that she was, and to get to meet both of you. It's been great, and we're so happy because you are truly helping so many other people, both substance abusers and those family members that are dealing with similar situations you have. You're helping a lot of people, and again, we sincerely thank you guys for being a part of Racing
It's
for
our
Recovery.
pleasure. I mean, you've helped us more than
Well,
you.
we've been blessed to meet all these great people too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great seeing all those people every Thursday, you know?
Yeah, and just the laughter, and like I said, it's just-
Definitely.
it's all good. It is all good, and so when you know, things happen for a reason.
Yep.
And you know, maybe this was our calling, is to be here and help others.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again
Thank
for coming
you.
out today and doing this for us, because it's definitely helping more people too. So, thank you.
all right, thank you all.